belong to any brand. So all those people that are bitching and moaning about him facing the WWE champion, hey man, he stated it himself. He was a free agent. He didn't belong to one brand. That's why smart booking by the WWE by putting him in that match. But that landscape has changed. Brock is now your WWE champion, and I guess, Bully, we're not going to see him on Friday nights. He's now Mr. Monday Night when you look at that WWE champion, Brock Lesnar.
Hell of a weekend. Hell of a weekend.
Yes, I'm sure it was.
Let me ask you this. So if you think that Roman would have retained, what do you think would have been the outcome of the five-way match for the WWE Championship? Do you think Big E would have retained also?
Yeah, I think Big E would have retained. I think they were like, you know what? We got these are crazy circumstances. Let's throw something. Let's swing to the fences and let's hit a grand slam here. Now, Bully, a lot of people on social media when Brock won were like, oh, this was obvious that Brock was going to win this because he was put in that match. I didn't think so. I actually thought that Brock was just being put in there because they had nowhere else to put Brock and that Big E was going to retain. I was completely shocked, Bully, that Brock Lesnar won the WWE Championship on Saturday.
Why were you shocked? They stooged off the finish in the entrances.
But that's something that we could talk about at length. There was absolutely no reason for Brock Lesnar to come out last. He is not your champion. That is disrespectful to the championship and disrespectful to Big E.
That's something that really pissed me off when I saw it. Listen, I understand that Brock Lesnar is the biggest star in that match. You can make an argument that Brock Lesnar is the biggest star in the WWE right now. This is the man who defeated The Undertaker, ended the streak, a 5-time, up until the other night, world champion, a guy who does what he wants when he wants, yada, yada. But he was not your WWE champion.
Yeah.
Big E was. Now, if we know that Brock is going to win the championship, and he's going to have his moment, he's going to get his beauty shot at the end of the show, why would you have Big E come out fourth? Why would you have Brock come out last? There is absolutely zero reason, zero. Vince McMahon himself could not call into the show right now and convince me otherwise that there was a reason for Brock to come out last. That goes to show you what I had talked about a couple of weeks ago and my concern for Big E. Big E comes out fourth, which is basically saying, well, Big E, you're good enough to come out before Owens. You're good enough to come out before Rollins. You're good enough to come out before Bobby Lashley because you're the WWE champion. But you're not good enough to come out before Brock Lesnar, who, despite not having a championship around his waist, you're not better than him because he's a bigger superstar than you are, which should have meant absolutely nothing going into that match. It should have meant everything coming out of the match, especially when Big E is laying down for the hard finish. Should never have had. You throw Brock Lesnar I would have had Brock Lesnar come out third. I would have put him right in the middle of the entrances. Or start off with Detroit Rock City, have Brock come out first. You go Brock and Bobby, then Bobby. So Brock and Bobby can have a moment in the entrances. Then you go Seth and Kevin because they have a little bit of an issue going on where they're staring down. So now you have Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley staring off on the floor maybe. And now you have Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins staring off in the ring maybe, or vice versa, or they're all in the ring. And as the announcers are talking about how these four men are locked eyes and they want after each other so bad, now your world champion music hits. Now Big E hits. Now the place is like, wow, here comes the champion. Make the champion a big deal because it'll be an even bigger deal when Brock wins. Now, most people would say, come on, Bully, does Big E coming out last really matter when Brock wins? No, it really doesn't. But it's giving Big E the props he deserves.
honestly, to disrespect him by not having him come out at last on a pay-per-view in a championship match, and he won, he lost, he got pinned clean in the middle of the ring. And the other thing, Bully, and I'm just being honest here, because I went back and watched that main event match again last night, Bully, that crowd popped big time when Big E was pinned. This wasn't Owens. This wasn't Rollins. This wasn't Lashley. This was Big E getting pinned in the middle of the ring. That crowd exploded, and you saw 15,000 fans on their feet. I think that's the only answer you need to know.
Do you think the people were turning their backs on Big E? Do you think they were excited for a championship title change, and the fact that one of the biggest stars in the history of the WWE won the championship?
I think it's the word that you just said, Bully. It's star. But Brock Lesnar's a star, and I didn't think it would get the type of reaction. If you would have told me it was Big E that was going to take the pin, I would have thought it was 50-50. But that was not the case in Atlanta on Saturday night. I hate to use this word because I love Big E, and I think Big E could have been a tremendous champion. I just don't think that they really got behind him fully. I just don't believe it. And to answer your question that you asked me when he first won, judging from what we saw on Saturday, he was a transitional champion, unfortunately.
I don't like the word transitional.
Mm-hmm.
I like chase. He's a chase champion, not a retained champion. And we've had this conversation about plenty of talents. Hulk Hogan back in the day, he was a retain champion. Hulk chased the Iron Sheik for what, like a week? It was shock and awe.
Yeah.
And then you paid money to see Hulk retain. Did you pay money to see Stone Cold Steve Austin retain?
Yes.
Did you pay money to see The Rock retain?
Yes.
Okay. A lot of these champions, babyface champions, who are built the right way, you will pay to see retain. Big E is one of those talents where I feel like you pay and you invest your emotion to see him chase. Another one of these guys, much like a Kofi Kingston, where you feel like he's been working hard for so long and he deserves better. Thus, you get behind him because of the chase. Then once it happens and the chase is over, all right, fine, we got what we want. Do we really want to invest our let's forget about time and money. Do we really want to invest our emotion in seeing Big E retain? Yeah, there will be some fans who want to do that, but the majority, I'm not quite sure. And especially when you're going up against a beast, a megastar like a Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar is on the same level as a Stone Cold Steve Austin and as a Rock and as an Undertaker. And if you want to know how the hell I could put his name in the same sentence as the Undertaker, well, he's the one who put the 1 in 21 in 1. Yep. So yeah, there you go.
No, I agree. And unfortunately, Bully, like judging from what we saw on Saturday night, I don't think that Big E has a future in the title picture right now. Because when Big E took the pin, but it was the stare. They finished that show with a stare down between Brock and Bobby Lashley. So it just